Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual, guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research. I also have to bring, I told you guys, when good things happen, it happen in bunches, just like Ray Dalio said. But also when it rains, it pours. So last week, registrations were down a lot. And I still believe it's because of probably retooling the factory for Firefly, for the ET9, other things. The big seven-seater has been spied on the streets testing in China. And it's possible they're retooling the factory for all of these things because there is no way, according to Mrs. P. Your Bed, aka the Kung Fu Panda, that he's claiming or she's claiming that Onvo is cannibalizing on the Neo brand to that extent already. I don't think so. I refuse to believe that because the numbers would not fall that drastically from one week to the next. But it all seems like doom and gloom as the Kung Fu Panda continues to do, spread rhetoric and fear. As we all know, NIO added another 7 battery swap stations yesterday in China, bringing our total to 3,028. And as the CEO continues to bend his head and work, knowing fully well that even if we don't leave China, which we already have left China and in Europe and is going to Azerbaijan this year, very soon, but even if we didn't do that, I want you all to understand that this company will become profitable by even if they just stayed in China. And we know that because Tesla would have never become profitable and would have went out of business if they did not go into China. But I want to thank Money Making Melvin for this article. It's from The Verge. It says US finalizes rule to effectively ban Chinese vehicle, which could include Polestar. And this is very strange because Polestar is building in America. So you will say, well, how can they block Polestar if they're already building in America? Well, this is the difference between both administrations. It says the Biden administration says it wants to prevent China from spying on Americans through their vehicles because the Chinese want to know what I do on a daily basis because I'm a very important guy, you see. But the rule could block popular vehicles like Polestar from selling in the US. But how is that? So apparently the 100% tariff that the Biden administration put was not enough. It says the Biden administration finalized a new rule that would effectively ban all Chinese vehicles from the US under the auspices of blocking the sale or import of connected vehicle software from countries of concern. So, we all know NIO is making their own software. The rule and making our own chip now instead of relying on the NVIDIA chip. The rule could have wide-ranging effects on big automakers like Ford and GM as well as smaller manufacturers like Polestar and even companies that don't produce cars like Waymo. It seems that we have now sanctioned even ourselves into third world status as the rest of the world's move forward. It is really sad and really strange as to why the Biden administration is doing this to destroy their own economy even further. And I know that because I live in America where economy is in tatters. We've seen the wildfire burn down everything in California. It's going to cost, hundreds of billions to rebuild. It says the rule covers everything that connects a vehicle to the outside world, such as Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, cellular, and satellite components. And we all know, and I reported on this a couple of years ago, that China launched a massive amount of satellites in space so that all of their EVs will be connected no matter where they are. It says it also addresses concerns that technology like cameras, sensors, and onboard computers could be exploited by foreign adversaries to collect sensitive data about US citizen infrastructure. Foreign adversaries, it says, because China is getting ready to attack us and they keep attacking us. They have military bases all around America, right? Wrong. But this is what the media in the West keep telling us. They are our enemy, they are our adversary, they are a threat because they're educating themselves. It says, and it would ban China from testing its self-driving cars on US soil. Cars today have cameras, microphones, GPS tracking, and other technologies connected to the internet. It's a computer now. It's not like these gas guzzlers. It's not like the primitive technology we have here in America. U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo said in a statement, "It doesn't take much imagination." She has a big imagination, this lady. "It doesn't take much imagination to understand how a foreign adversary with access to this information, a foreign adversary, could pose a serious risk to both our national security and the privacy of U.S. citizens. To address these national security concerns, the Commerce Department is taking targeted, proactive steps to keep People's Republic of China and Russian, and notice how they combine both of them to put it into your psyche that they are our enemy, and Russian manufactured technologies off American roads, because Russia is also attacking our soil. A foreign adversary with access to this information could pose a serious risk." The rules for prohibited software go into effect for model year 2027 vehicles, while the ban on hardware from China waits until model year 2030 vehicles. So it's a nice game that they're playing, just in case China is planning on coming to build factories here. They're saying, no, you can't even do that, to create jobs. It says, according to Reuters, the rules were updated from the original proposal to exempt vehicles weighing over 10,000 pounds, which would allow companies like BYD to continue to assemble electric buses in California. So BYD can't even do that under this ban. The new rule is the latest escalation in the ongoing trade restrictions put in place on Chinese-made vehicles, including components like computers and batteries. It comes at a time when China is churning out more cars than ever before, earning its status as the #1 auto exporter in the world, past Toyota. The rule also covers vehicles and components made by Russia. China access to vehicle software presents a significant threat to the US in that it would grant an adversary unfettered access, she said, because they are our adversary, to critical tech systems and the user data that they collect, the White House said, because they really want to see what I'm doing. I'm that important. As the People's Republic of China automakers aggressively seek to increase their presence in the American and global automotive markets, through this final rule, President Biden is delivering on his commitment to secure critical American supply chains. That's what it's about. And protect our national security, the administration adds. But I've said it and I'll say it again. By preventing innovation, by preventing competition, you're preventing innovation. So exactly what we did to Cuba and left them in the dark ages, we're doing to ourselves now. The new rule is the latest escalation in the ongoing trade restrictions put in place on Chinese-made vehicles. The auto industry sought to delay the rule by a year, effectively delivering it to the incoming Trump administration to enforce, but was unsuccessful. It says, because they all know that the Trump administration has a totally different mindset when it comes to business and growing the economy. The Biden administration wants to give, I think it's $10,000 towards a home down payment, to people who can't afford the home so the bank can take it anyway. They want to give more money so you can breed and make more babies. They want to put, I think it was like it was an astronomical amount of taxes on investors like ourselves, so that our capital gains will be taxed tremendously, whereas the Trump administration don't want to do things like that. It's really weird, because the Trump administration want to keep the economy going, to encourage investing and innovation, but the Biden administration for some reason was totally against that from the door. It says the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, which represents GM, Ford, Volkswagen, Toyota, and others, said in comments submitted last April that it supports the goal of the proposed rules, but warned that the global automotive supply chain is one of the world's largest and most complex, and that parts could not be simply swapped out without disruptions. Other automakers were more explicit in their criticism. Polestar, an electric vehicle manufacturer owned by Geely, said in October that the rule would effectively prohibit Polestar from selling its cars in the United States, including the cars it manufactures in South Carolina. So they're creating jobs in South Carolina, but they still can't sell here. This is a really weird mindset. Indeed, the White House states in its fact sheet that the rule prevent the imports or sale of connected vehicles by entities who are owned by or controlled by or subject to the jurisdiction or direction of the PRC or Russia, even if those vehicles were made in the United States. So even if you come here and create jobs, that's a bad thing for the Biden administration. It is very weird. Meanwhile, Waymo, which is planning on using vehicles manufactured by Geely, Zeekr, or the next-gen robotaxi, said that it takes precautions to ensure that the vehicles it purchases for its fleets arrive without any manufacturer-installed telematics systems. Waymo filed comments in the support of the rule last fall. Waymo spokesperson Ethan Thatcher said in an email, "We're reviewing the final rule and appreciate the department prompt rulemaking." So how is this going to affect us? Well, the new administration is coming in next week, and it will be very interesting to see if they go along with this, or if the Trump administration decides to allow them, like he said, to come and build here, create jobs, and then they can sell. I think this is what's going to happen. Or if not, NIO and the rest of the Chinese automakers will continue to go into Africa, BRICS nations in general, ASEAN. Combined, that will be about 3/4 of the world population. And then we will be left in the dark ages because there will be no incentive to innovate. I know, like Lucid, they bought a NIO and tore it down to try to steal the technology, to try to keep up. And I think that's what that was the mindset of the Biden administration, to try to give American automakers a chance to try to innovate and keep up before they drop the tariffs and say, okay, well, you can come now, knowing that the competition will, be eliminated to a certain extent. But it is almost like telling a cockroach, here's a NIO, tear it down and see if you can build it. So I hope you guys found this video to be informational, inspirational, motivational. Even though it might sound like doom and gloom, understand that they cannot stop the rise. NIO is like a raging volcano. We're coming out with our 7-seater soon. We are releasing Firefly soon. We're going to flood North Africa and the Middle East soon. We are going to become not just profitable, but profitable in a massive way, and all of a sudden. So I hope you guys found this video to be informational, inspirational, and motivational. If so, guys, do not forget to hit that thumbs up, because it does take a lot of time to do these videos and the editing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because in this channel, we are waking up the middle class for the first time to get a major piece of the pie from the ground level as to how the game is played in Wall Street. Like 50 Cent, we get rich or we die trying, guys.